What is good, guys and gals, and welcome to the Films and Pixels podcast, episode 35. I am your host, Afif. And again, I just want to quickly say thank you for tuning in. It means a lot. Watching my videos, listening to these podcasts, it really does mean a lot to me. So thank you. So again, if you haven't done so before, just subscribe. I'll always say, you're welcome to subscribe. It means a lot. So thank you. Thank you so much if you do subscribe. You're important. It means a lot. So thank you. But yeah, without getting off track, the topics. I do have some good topics. I do want to review John Wick Chapter 4. I saw last Sunday in theaters. News about the Godfather of AI himself quitting his job from Google and why, which I will elaborate. Plus, news regarding Jim Lee at DC Comics and IBM now hiring AI instead of actual humans for employment. AI just to fulfill job vacancies. That's kind of scary. And I'll talk about those and break down the whole situation. But, without further ado, thank you so much just from listening from the beginning. And yeah, let's get on with episode 35 from here on out. Alright, so for this episode, I'd like to review John Wick Chapter 4. Starring Keanu Reeves. In this movie, the fourth film in the John Wick saga. And I will be honest, I'm glad there's Chapter 4, but I was surprised after the first three films. I thought it would be a trilogy and that's it, but again, good to see that there's a fourth John Wick movie. First two were great. Third film was alright. Still good enough. Last I recalled from 2019, I think. Third film. So it's pretty cool and all. But yeah, anyway, without getting sidetracked, I really thought that this movie was so thrilling. It was just an exciting thrill just to see this movie. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Although I admit that the whole plot itself was kind of confusing. I'm just trying to recall he's trying to pay his debt or complete whatever challenges from the high table and whatever. There's just people from the hotel, the concierge hotel, or not the concierge hotel. But yeah, anyway, the high table at the hotel. And but anyway, one of the things I want to point out too, the addition of Bill Skarsgård, the main antagonist of the film. I really liked him in this role. He was fun. It was fun to see him play this antagonistic role. Of course, I didn't see Stephen King's It Chapters 1 and 2, but I'm sure he was pretty scary in that film, so it's good to see him sort of in this villainous persona as well. He's good at being a mean villain, but just for me, his character just not really memorable or compelling or anything like that. So that's just my opinion. Clancy, everyone knows his name, Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown is a new addition to the movie. It was cool and all, but for me, maybe it's just star power. But again, I didn't think his appearance sort of pushed the movie forward or anything, or really was a major difference. So, it was fine, but as it is. Now, another thing, of course, we saw Lance Reddick. This is probably his final movie now that since he tragically passed away. After this movie, all of a sudden, Lance Reddick passed away, and really shocking and tragic. He was 64 or something. So, what happened to his character in this movie? I didn't like how his fate was met. Let me put it this way. I thought it was kind of distasteful concerning what happened to the actor anyway, passing away weeks after the movie's release. It was just kind of a shock when the news broke, and really just awful timing the scene happened, and I wish it was just cut entirely or something was changed, or because I'm not even sure the prognosis is out or anything how and why, but when watching that scene, what happened to his character, and then just seeing what happened to the actor Lance Reddick since that time, it's a very uncomfortable moment and just distasteful for me. So that's just something I wanted to point out. But the best part is really the action sequences, and it should be. I really like how well they were all choreographed. Good editing, good timing as well. You know, especially my favorite fight sequences, I would say, was like in the Osaka hotel in the first act. That was pretty cool. And I really like how well that fight scene in that nightclub with all those people dancing and the waterfall. I thought that was like kind of a really cool dramatic effect, but like you know John Wick and that dude with the golden teeth that he has to take from him just to get back into the whole circle of whatever they were supposed to be calling it, like some kind of cult that whatever it is. But yeah, that again, like I was saying earlier, the whole point with this conflict is just kind of exhausting. But with the table and all that, but it's fine, it's John Wick, and everyone loves Keanu Reeves. Let's admit it, the internet loves Keanu Reeves, so it's fine. We can get away with it. But if anything, I noticed I love how like there wasn't a scene or a moment where there one of the bounty hunters that we see throughout the film, he has a dog with him. He calls it like his emotional support dog, and not one moment did the dog attack John Wick. I love how that was done because everyone knows like the whole point with John Wick initially was like he had this puppy and then this puppy was killed, and because that puppy was the last thing he got from his wife, he saw vengeance. He shot anyone in his way. So, and Keanu Reeves also loves dogs as well. So I think that was kind of like a very clever way of not like having Keanu Reeves attack a dog or vice versa. So I thought that was kind of smart, you know? And if he did, it would be very ironic as well. Well, speaking of irony, like even going back to the third film, now I think about it, it seems like wherever he goes, there's always some sort of bounty hunter, and the price gets higher 20 million, 25 million, 30 million, 40 million, and then people everywhere from Paris with guns and pistol, whatever, like all kinds of weapons, aiming at John Wall, trying to kill him, trying to shoot him, punch him, kick him, whatever it is. And oh man, like another ironic thing that's so funny, I keep noticing, not just in the first act, but also like even in the third act, when he tries to go up through the stairs, long stairs to the church, and I saw it also in that Osaka hotel fight scene, rolling down the stairs, rolling and rolling and rolling. I'm just like, damn, like, man, I gotta give props to Keanu Reeves. Like, it must be really, really painful just to keep rolling down through all those steps and sustaining injuries and still like making it through until the movie was finally wrapped from production. That's kind of crazy, but uh yeah, just like those two moments in particular, it just came back to me because like rolling and rolling and just like whoa, especially in that third act, yeah, that was something else. And like all kinds of quirky characters, the blind guy who's can actually fight and somehow hold his own, and then there's, like I said, that big dude with the golden teeth in the front. Yeah, I'll admit some of the names I just forgot. uh if there's anyone I like, it's one of the supporting characters, played by Lawrence Fishburne. I love this line he said regarding a suit for him to wear. It was just so funny. It's actually clever. So I thought that was really cool. I really liked Lawrence Fishburne in the movie once again, even though like in a minor supporting role. But yeah, I mean, like if you're in for a good time, if you just want to see some cool action, go ahead. I mean, I'm just glad I didn't see the second trailer. I might remember the first trailer, but I'm now realizing the benefits of not watching trailers, because it's not that I don't want to. It's just that maybe like I see a little bit of one of the trailers, and then like when I go into the theater, I am generally surprised. So it's nice to see, because I feel like movie trailers kind of spoil the surprise a bit. I mean, teasers are fine, but the whole full trailer is a different thing. But other than that, like, yeah, without going off topic, this is an excellent film. John Wick Chapter 4, I I do recommend you going to see this movie. And wherever you are in your local movie theaters, go check it out. All right, so next topic, I do want to discuss something that I still think is really important. And um, some of you may know this AI creator, software engineer. His name is George Hinton. Now, recently he announced that he's resigning and quitting his job from Google. And one of the reasons is simply because of what his creation of AI has done or what is becoming in the future. And I don't blame him with ChatGPT really going viral, taking over. Like I said, ChatGPT and Bard. We already know Siri and Alexa. It wouldn't be shocking if there's more. Um, I think there's Cortana for Windows 10, obviously inspired by the Xbox video Halo video game series. So yeah, like more and more AI programs, and I don't blame him for having some fear and saying he's like also feeling responsible for ChatGPT's creation. And as well, like it should be noted when he made an appearance at an MIT Technology Reviews AI conference. Um, his comments did sort of like scare or rattle audience members that included like top tech creators and AI developers as well in that event. And so like someone asked like, what's the worst case? Wait, hold on, sorry. Worst case scenario that you think is conceivable, and then Hinton replied without hesitation that I think it's quite conceivable that humanity is just a passing phase in the evolution of intelligence. I want to repeat that again. That humanity is just a passing phase in the evolution of intelligence. What does he mean by that? Mankind itself is going through a higher intellectual level past the full capabilities of human, and instead probably like AI's replacing all of us, which is kind of scary, but and yeah, it's somehow believable when you think of all those movies and TV series with AI and tech and the future and robotic cars in the sky and all that stuff. So yeah, don't blame me if you see robotic cars in the sky, but it's not exactly shocking, with like AI. It's 2023 and we're talking about AI taking over our lives and possibly taking over jobs, which I will talk about later, but it's just kind of crazy where we've come to. I mean, ChatGPT, I know some way it's helpful. I think there's ChatGPT and Microsoft's Bing search engine, but oof, I mean, what more can I say about what's occurring in human history? I mean, and the resources that are being put into making these things a reality, considering how Bard from Google did have a very slow, not unworthy, but very slow, you know, this engine bad start in some ways. Yeah, just not the kind of start with Bard that like impressed a lot of people. But yeah, I guess George Hinton is trying to tell us something, and we should listen. So already for most of you, the names like Jeff Johns and now James Gunn and Peter Safran with DC Comics, you already know, you're already well familiar. Zack Snyder, of course, amongst them, well associated with the brand. So that's pretty understandable. Another name that I think is important and really very relevant right now and just making headlines for all the good reasons is Jim Lee. So who is Jim Lee? Jim Lee himself has now officially been named president over at DC Comics, and that's according to sources speaking to the Rep. He's really more of like a comic book artist, which is pretty cool, and working with these characters for the brand for like many decades, and it's pretty cool. Like he fell in love with comics like since the 1980s, so that's where part of his passion came from, and he has really excelled since that time. And it's funny how he was supposed to go to medical school, but he got a drawing opportunity at Marvel, started a career path there from where he is today. and joined DC since 2000 at the beginning of the century. Yeah, since 2000. And he got to work on like a couple of Batman stories, so that was pretty cool. And you know, he was actually a big part of the New 52 initiative in 2011. So for those that don't know what it is, the New 52 is kind of like the whole DC universe getting like a reboot, if you want to call it. Like kind of like a clean slate, going back to the beginning sort of thing, modernizing stories, but like kind of like a reset, reboot, if you want to call it. And how that happened is like a story of the Flash traveling back in time, attempting to keep his mother alive. And so that's how the whole comic book universe was relaunched, a story of the Flash, saving his mom for all the right reasons, and then everything went wrong, which might be the story of the actual movie, I think. Yeah, based on the trailers have been out. Uh, yeah, so that's part. Like I was saying, the story itself inspired Andy Muschietti's movie with Ezra Miller in the film, and there's two different versions of Ezra Miller, and I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I mean, it's at least it's important. Like, if you know what Ultimate Marvel is also like a reboot of the comic book brand sort of idea. That's also the New 52, so that's pretty cool. So what's Lee going to be doing in his new role? Well, he's going to be responsible for overseeing DC in all forms of media, from comics that are releasing weekly on Wednesdays, upcoming blockbusters, um, yeah, also like probably TV series as well. Um, yeah, I think that's just pretty much it. Like overseeing comic book brand and media brand for DC Comics, just overseeing all the projects. So that's pretty cool. Um, Man, sorry with all the ums, but but yeah, I again, like with recent developments throughout the past few months, and then now Jim Lee being elevated as president of DC, I like where the brand is going, and with the DCU film reboot series happening in the near future, that's pretty good. But because of this reboot, I kind of concerned that it may affect box office results for The Flash, similar to what happened with Shazam Fury of the Gods. Of course, net reviews were negative for that movie, but I think because of this whole reboot, box office numbers did hurt that movie, and I'm foreseeing a similar path, not similar path, you know, a similar pattern going to be happening with The Flash. So look for that to happen. I mean, I know that it's coming next month in June, but I the film part, I mean, that's something to look forward to later. But regarding Jim Lee, I mean, that's actually good for him. That's pretty great stuff, and it seems like with him in charge, interesting stories will be releasing more so on a weekly basis. All right, so we're at the final topic now. Remember earlier in this episode when I said I was going to talk about companies hiring AI and all that stuff? Well, yeah, yeah, that's crazy. I know exactly. Like we're at that point now. So this is a pretty big story. IBM are going to be hiring AI as new employers instead of humans, which is just kind of mind boggling. I mean, this is from IBM CEO Arvind Krishna said that the tech company is slowing or suspending hiring for any jobs that could be possibly done by AI. Even that includes like HR and other non-customer facing roles, uh, which amount to roughly 26,000 positions. So that's pretty insane. And he could see 30% of the jobs being replaced by AI and automation over a 5-year period. Yeah, I mean, a company with 26,000 people, 30% of it being replaced by AI. So, or actually, sorry, 26,000 positions being replaced. I'll talk about the total number later. But, which in total, like in 5 years, AI could be replacing like 7,800 jobs, uh, which is insane, and it may not include rehiring any jobs that have been vacated in the coming months or recent months. And not just jobs that were vacated, but jobs that could be vacated later on. So yeah, if you're gonna give your CVs to IBM, forget about it. They're gonna find AI, someone's AI from Microsoft, Google, Meta, uh, maybe an AI from Sony, wherever, whoever. Man, it's just insane. Now, at least IBM does have 260,000 employees, and even 10% of those jobs are like non-customer service role. It's unclear if like people will lose jobs because of AI. If us humans and AI could share the same job, great. But let's be honest, I really doubt that if it means cutting costs, saving money, and not worrying about paying people if AI is free and AI doesn't mean need money. I don't know. It's just like I know this is just happening recently with IBM, but like more and more people like the idea of like more big tech companies like opening jobs for AI and then like we have to go home and like have little money or like find something that's just little money. I mean we've all studied like years of our lives for a degree in the subject that we're passionate about, whether it's tech or something else, and then you're here to tell us that AI is going to take our jobs. Like, what really? Uh, like again, entertainment, movies and TV shows. Already predicting the future. We just thought like, well, this is all to create funds. No, 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 no. It's gonna happen one way or another. AI might take my job anyway. AI will take your job. So, you know, hand over your CVs to other companies. Complete new job applications. I don't know. Just if I were you, complete something. Just do something. Find another job. Find a part-time job. I don't know, because you know whether it's Bard or Alexa or Siri. I don't know, whoever, or maybe all those AIs have little AI kids. Those AI kids will take your jobs too when they grow old, or they probably don't need to grow old. Like give them a few days, and then those AI kids will take our jobs. So yikes. So yeah, like I was saying, AI, they're coming for us one way or another. Okay, guys and gals, um, I just want to thank all of you. For those that I want to thank anyone and everyone listening to this episode from beginning to end. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. Watching it on YouTube or in any case through Spotify, Anirami, Google Podcasts. Again, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. I highly, highly appreciate it. And it means so much more to me if you subscribe as well. Leave a comment, like, share, social platforms, family, friends, whatever it may be. Just, any support you give really does mean a lot to me. So I do thank you once more. It means a lot. And thanks for tuning in to the Films and Pixels podcast, episode 35. Good day and good night.